Between the episodes on Eisenholm. The day began with digging up the rest of the blue clay in the area. Once my pockets were full, I swung past the barn only to hear the joyful squeals of bebe pigs. But for now, I finished gathering the last of the blue clay and headed to the workshop. My goal? Bricks. Clinker clay bricks. Rough ones, to be exact. I slapped a bunch of blue clay bricks together, cut up 9 stacks of firewood, and started packing the kiln. With so much room left, I started looking for more ceramics left to be fired. Getting the firewood in place to clear up some inventory space, I decided to throw some clay on the pottery wheel. Let's try out some nice dark shingles, and of course, we're still lacking in the vessels department for our cellar, so I made a few. The wind power cut out rather abruptly partway through the final vessel, but that's alright. I packed the kiln not to the brim, but full enough to make it feel like it was worth it. Then, opening all the iron hatch doors for maximum airflow and the hottest burn, it was time to light it up.
Buenos noches, cerámica. Buenos noches.
With our clay cooking away, it was time to turn our attention to restocking our castle building supplies. With the previous building session, most of the inner curtain wall had been put together, though the inner courtyard and the keep itself are yet to be worked on. However, I believe one, very glaring issue should be sorted out before continuing inward. This ain't no castle in the sky. Just like our collective knees and backs, the castle needs a bit of support. So back down to the quarry I went, collecting 6 giant stone slabs for a total of just over 2,000 conglomerate rock. I hauled the slabs back over to the masonry lodge and checked on my precious gems collection. It was lacking. So I grabbed my current supply of bony soil and got to panning. If I want to earn enough rusty gears to eventually purchase that elk mount, I'll need a lot of desirable stock for the traders. The results, however, didn't end up netting us much more than what we already had in terms of sellable items. Regardless, we'll still need food for the journey, and with the 3rd generation pigs ripe for the picking, well, let's just say you should avert your eyes for a second. Oh, weird. So much meat, right as all of the Gen 3 pigs vanished. Weird. Anyway, I finally started to make use of some of our vast quantities of salt to begin curing some of the meat. And got to cooking the rest into delicious hearty meals. Gotta put some meat on our bones after we took the meat off their bones. Allegedly. Eventually, there was a decent stockpile of food. As I was getting some of the new hides soaking, I noticed that trouble was on the way. And so that brings us to today, where since we've got a temporal storm right on our heels here, is the perfect time to talk about an update. As I'm sure those of you who've been keeping up with the development logs of the game have noticed, in 1.20.5, there's been a bit of an update to hot water. This wonderful boiling bubbly substance that we have taken great advantage of is finally getting a little bit of a developmental update to it. Now I'm guessing that's going to be a precursor to other mechanics that it'll be eventually incorporated into. However, for our purposes, the boiler room is now only 25% as effective as it used to be. So this old material right here, the boiling water that we use, now when creatures succumb to the boiling stew, well, they're only going to drop 25% of the regular rate of item drops that they would have otherwise dropped. Because the water's acidic, which makes total sense actually for a hot spring like this. This is very sulfurous water. Is it sulfur or methane? Whatever makes it so you really, really don't want to go swimming in that super acidic water coming out straight from a hot spring. It'll melt your skin right off. So for the moment, at least in this episode, I am still on 1.20.4. Which means this may be one of the last times we take full advantage of the boiler room. So I'm going to have to develop something new that, well, doesn't incorporate this boiling water. And then we'll see what happens with this, whether we keep this as a relic for times where we just want to passively get reduced rates during a temporal storm, or if we reconfigure it into something else, depending on whatever uses get programmed in eventually for the hot water. Could just turn it into a nice decorative gazebo. That could be nice. But in any case, we've got just a little bit of time here before the temporal storm comes, so I'm going to pop down in here and preemptively take our rusty gears out. We did get 2 from our little panning expedition there. Well, not really an expedition, but that brings us to 19 in total. Still a far cry from the 50 that we're going to need for an elk. So after this temporal storm is all done and dusted, we're going to dive into something that we haven't really touched upon a whole lot at all for the entirety of this series. The life of a traveling merchant. Stonks. But first, the storm. You might notice a little something. I've made a slight little change in the accessibility settings. I've turned down the glitch strength waviness to the temporal storm, just to make it come across a little bit easier in videos, and, well, honestly, it kind of also helps with aiming through the carving slots if everything's not glitching around, but I mainly did that so it looks a little bit nicer on videos and doesn't give anybody any sort of motion sickness, just in case. I see you creeping around. I've been messing around with the design for a new little storm shelter, and it does take into account the bowtorn and how they run away. So now when you get up close to one of these little bowtorn guys, well, I said little, but they're tall, they're going to try and run to about 15 blocks away. That's their minimum shooting range. Any closer than that, and they'll try and run, and if they can't run, then they'll try and stab you in the face with a little spike on their nose. So the design's going to be kind of a little ring way deep down, so even outside of a temporal storm, we might get a little bit of decent drops. I see the water is not quite moving that man as it should. Great. Interesting. Ow. Oh right, my leg armor is completely broken. I forgot about that. So once again, our legs are entirely exposed. Okay, that door stays closed then until this storm is over. So I'm thinking very likely over by our quarry, where it's strangely stable, going quite a ways down. That is likely where I'm going to put our new little storm shelter. And I'm not really upset at these changes. I mean, it was a matter of time. After all, this is definitely exploiting just a mechanic that hasn't quite been touched on just yet. So, I always knew the day would come where it'd actually start getting some updates. And that's perfectly okay. Just gives me a reason to have to get a little, technologically creative. Gotta say, though, even without these reduced drop rates, the drop rates have been kind of abysmal this storm. It's allegedly a heavy temporal storm, but this has been pretty light. I think there's probably just a lot of bowtorns out there, wandering amidst the gloom. 4 flax fiber, huh? Definitely not the most productive storm, by any stretch of the imagination. So most definitely the boiler room going forward is really not going to be a very productive endeavor. Especially not if we want to get up to those 50 gears that we're going to need. So soon, we're going to have to build a completely different storm shelter. But that won't be this episode. Because today, as I said, stonks. So I've grabbed a few things here. I've got some rough peridot, rough diamonds, and rough emeralds, all of them low potential, so they're not going to be the most profitable things. But I've also got our soybean collection here, as well as a little bit of halite, which we have plenty of. The bones I should probably put away. And also, take these with us, just in case. Let's go pop these bones away, and then go over a little bit more detail about what our route is going to look like today. Put the bones back into the bone hole. You live there, Bones. So let's take a look at how to best maximize our profits. With a combination of looking through the wiki as well as the code for all of the different merchants, you can start to see what they buy and what they sell. Now there's different amounts that they'll buy and sell things for. And based on what we currently have and what we might be able to get while we're out there, there's a few items that I'm going to be keeping an eye out for. So the soybeans and halite that I've got with me, I can sell those to an agricultural trader. They don't get a whole lot, but, you know, salt's basically infinite. At least with the giant pillar that we've got, I don't think we're going to run out. We've barely even tapped into it. Survival goods traders and treasure hunter traders, they're going to buy all those different types of bread that we've got, so spelt, rye, flax, rice. And artisan traders and luxuries traders will buy our emeralds, diamonds, and peridots. I think the artisan trader pays a little bit more, at least for the high potential. Low potential, I think the difference isn't really noticeable. there's a few tactics we can use if we're making the rounds between different traders. Those very same gems, the diamonds, peridots, emeralds, we can buy those from a treasure hunter trader and then sell them to a luxuries or artisan trader. Make a little tidy profit, as long as we buy low, sell high. There's a small chance, but still a chance, that we could buy one for, let's just say, 13 gears and then have to sell it for 12. But at that point we wouldn't have to, we'd hold on to it until the market price improves. Another good thing to trade is wolf pups. You can buy those from survival good traders and then sell them to an agricultural trader or a treasure hunter trader. Cracked vessels, you can get those from the treasure hunter trader. Been saying that a lot. We can sell those back to commodities traders for a little bit of a profit. Glass is a little lower profit margin from what I can see. All those different colors of glass that we can get from a luxuries trader, we can sell them to a furniture trader for, well, for the same cost range, but just buying them in groups of 4 and selling them in groups of 3. That would be a very slow way to make a profit, so we're not going to do glass trading. But we might sell dogs and gems. Diamond dogs. Metal gear. And for the price that we'd get for bread, I don't know if I'm going to worry about it just yet. We'll go around, take a little lap, see what people are looking for. So let's visually don our winter clothes and get on the road. Just take a quick peek if there's anything else here I should be bringing along with me if I've put it in a weird spot. Have I hidden any gemstones around here? No, but I did notice I've got candles over here for some reason. Merge those in over there. Excellent. Okay. Alright, so let's take a look at the old map-reno here. So what do we have? We've got a survival goods trader down south. We're going to pin that one, because that's where we can go to get a wolf pup. We apparently have another survival goods trader down to the east of him, and another one just to the west. Clothing trader there, okay. Furniture trader, treasure hunter trader over there. What's our treasure hunter trader over there? We're going to pin a couple of these. Boy, do we have a lot of survival goods traders. We could buy a lot of wolves. An agricultural trader up north there. For the agricultural trader, as well as the 2 treasure hunter traders, could potentially buy the wolf pups that we're going to be able to buy from all of these various survival goods traders. We have a building materials trader. He's not part of the rotation we're doing here. Another building materials. Another furniture. What we need is commodities. Do we know anyone who deals in commodities? Nope. Clothing, furniture. A luxuries trader down south. Beautiful. And a commodities trader down south. Also beautiful. So I think with the higher concentration of what we want, we're going to go south first. Agricultural trader, they can wait until after we've acquired wolf pups. We don't need to go to them beforehand. Alright, so with a few different merchants that we're going to want down south, let's head on just a little ways south. Bright morning to set out. And the ice bridge does not look like it's fully formed yet. We should bring a raft, just in case. Aha! There you are. With mortar and quicklime, eh? Put you back down where you belong. Up you on my back. Now down to the south. So in the absence of any artisan traders, since we haven't found any, I'm gonna head down to that luxuries trader first, just to see if they'll buy our gemstones. Going through the desert, gonna find a place to sell stuff. Diamonds come from the land, they were put there by no hand. Lot of heat and pressure, you know. Oh, this terrain. Come on. Can't a man go walking around no more without having to mountain climb? Got bad knees. How did I get there the first time? Probably by water. I see on our travels here we're first going to come across our survival goods friend, or one of several anyway. Hello, sir. I come bearing an axe. Be not afraid. What's your name? Hello, Shem. I forgot your name since the incident. You are not currently selling anything that I could resell. Good day to you too, sir. Onward we go. Now, since we're going to be in the business of looking to sell gems and such, we're going to keep our eyes peeled for any ruins that we might have missed. Been a while since we've been along in this area. Uh-oh. That looks like trouble. And those rabbits are coming straight for us, so the bear is too. Okay. We're ocean bound. We're getting away from the circle of life over there. That's why we're on the water here. Another survival goods trader is right on near the coast. Hello, what's your name? Sprig. Do you have anything? Not particularly. Nor are you looking to buy much of anything particularly good. I should have brought bread. Learn from my mistakes. Bring bread for the salesman. Southward, to the luxury trader we go. Hello, luxuries trader. Please tell me you're warm. Your caravan's all open. Do you wish to buy things? Medium potential, high potential, and medium potential. Also medium potential. Oh, you don't want to buy any of my low potential gems? You don't want these? You don't want any of my gemstone? No? You wound me, sir. You wound me deep. Well then, where to next? Cave? Cave. You'll be warmer down here, right? Sure. Oh, it's high rift activity. Oh, this is a very bad idea. I was hoping to come across a ruin? A ruin anywhere? Possibly with a fireplace of some kind? Anywhere I might be a bit warmer? Hey, borax. Well, that's okay. You know what? I'll take that. If I stay down here long enough, perhaps things might warm up ever so slightly. I doubt it, but you never know. My body temperature is very slowly going up because I'm indoors, I'm out of the wind. Well, indoors is in a cave. Would you look at that? See, physical labor and being indoors, it slightly warms you up a little bit. Sheltered from the elements. But not from the drifters. They are very much here and very much a threat. Alright. Anything else of note in this cave? Apart from men throwing rocks at me? Oh boy. Keep running. Ruins. Ooh. Bony soil. Put the borax in there, our elk stuff in there. Maybe our soybeans and halite. Our unsold gems. And we're cold again. Okay. Oh. We're in a cellar. There we go. My instincts to dig a little bit further were correct. Aha! Well, would you look at that? Profit. That brings us up to 29 gears, so maybe it's okay that we didn't get to sell anything to anybody. We're still making profit. And we got ourselves a nice little treasure chest. And an aged torch holder, alright. Plus, we've got a whole good bit here of different conglomerate material. So the commodities trader is mainly for selling vessels and things like that too, but you never know. There might be something good there. There's a fruit tree. See? Something good. What kind of fruit tree are you? Pear. Ooh. A new fruit tree. There we go. A few pear tree cuttings. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. Okay, let's see what this commodities trader has, and let's hope that there's some way for us to warm ourselves up. Hello, what's your name? Stretch. Stretch, can you help me with my monetary problems? I don't think you can. Why do you have the components for a homemade frag grenade? Yes, you do. I'm still getting cold in here. Your home is not as warm as I was hoping it was going to be. Perhaps we will just start making our way back. If we don't freeze beforehand, maybe swing by the other survival goods trader that we haven't already. See if they too want bread. That might encourage us to just do a little bit of baking. Oh, this forest is treacherous. So many holes. It's just not the time to be exploring a cave. It's the time to be getting myself back to safety. Hello, fish. Sorry. Look at that. Like a postcard. but shaky. Well, with a ruin being our most profitable endeavor on this little trip, and the trading not going so well because I don't have any good gems, I think it's time we head home. At the very least, just to warm up. Hold up. What if we made our way over that way? Those hot springs. We could certainly warm up there. Venture on over land and see if there's any other merchants that we haven't made contact with. Okay, I'm pretty sure it was a straight shot, so let's just run straight and see what happens. Okay, maybe not exactly straight. Let's skirt the waters. Uh-oh. Oh boy. Oh jeez. No! I heard something else tear. I think my gambeson is kind of useless at this point. And apparently I'm grooving. Still trying to place that block forever. Okay. Well, just as long as I'm dancing, let's go get our corpse. A light. A wolf. Very quiet. Oh, let's just keep on moseying on through this desert here, see if we can't get ourselves to those hot springs, and maybe, oh, we are at the hot springs, nice. Okay, don't need that pinned necessarily anymore. But while we're here, while we're warm, I was gonna say let's take a look at the old map and see if there's a trader nearby, and then I see one right here. They're just not lit up. You stealth camping? What do we got here? This looks like you're a clothing merchant. Okay, so you are not anything that I need at the moment. But you are a safe place to sit and think. Let's just mark Mustafa there. So that will actually help us triangulate. So we've got a trader here, a trader there, and then we've got another one. We've got a furniture trader up there, so we might have one somewhere in this region. That looks like it should be one right there. Okay, and extrapolating from that, the other one would likely have been here if it wasn't underwater. Or it could just be the luxuries trader right there, yeah. Okay. Well, let's head off and check out that mystery trader. And after we get to them, we might have to make our way back because we are close to being out of food. Oh, let's go check out this ruined keep here. We're almost at the merchant. Almost. Bony soil. Basement. Cabbage seeds. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Oh, get flint knife. We don't need that. Would you look at that? We also found a blue clay deposit. Okay, but enough playing in the snow. I think it's time for us to head north. Hello? No. None of this. Come on. Let's go to the merchant. Okay. I dig because I must. Okay. There's so many tiny little ruins that I come across, and all these very tempting. Well, that's not a very tempting cave. That's just a pit straight down. But there's so many tempting caves. Oh, geez. No. Okay, just over this hill. Just over this hill. There they are. Hello. You are a treasure hunter trader. Okay, so we have our first options here of things we could theoretically buy for resale. So we do have a rough peridot here. However, 12 gears is really on the high side. I think that's either almost as high or as high as that price can go. So that's not going to get us a good profit margin. The cracked vessels here, the ones for the tool vessel and the food vessel for 5 and 6 gears might not be too bad. The seed vessel for 8... It's not bad. It's not... Well, oh no, that is bad. That's the maximum price it can be. That, and we have an entirely full inventory space, and the chest on our back is also full. Okay, let's take a little peek down into this hole here underneath of the trader. See if there's anything fun or interesting down this way, and if not, well, we're heading straight back home. Oh, there's a whole cave system in here. Okay. There's a lot of straight down pits in here. I'm not a fan of this. I think we're just gonna head back up to the surface and go home. You know, running back home while singing the Song of My People does remind me of the first time I played Vintage Story. I figured if I just didn't eat, Oh, don't get distracted. Why am I getting distracted? No, get back up there. But anyway, yeah, I figured if I just didn't eat, I could run out, and if I didn't bring anything with me and I didn't find anything interesting, I would just let myself starve, and then boom, I'm back at home and everything's fine. I didn't have to worry about collecting food, cooking, anything like that. And so this constant screaming was kind of the soundtrack of my gameplay experience. Oh, there's a cave, okay. Is this a direction I want to go, or is it not? Oh, safety, sanctuary. Hunger be gone. Oh, just in time, too. Oh, health was getting a little low. Let's just light a little fire here, just to keep ourselves warm. We're gonna take this bony soil, and we're gonna do a little bit of panning before we get to the next step of what we've got planned for today. Maybe we'll get a gear or two. Maybe 21. That'd be great. Maybe we won't get 21. Alright, we are back at home. We are fed, we are warm, but we've also put on display just how incredibly inefficient that one run was. I didn't have a whole lot of things to sell, all of my gems were pretty low quality, and I didn't bring bread. Things could have gone so much better if I had just brought bread. There would have been at least, I don't know, a dozen more gears in terms of sales, perhaps? So I think we're going to need somewhere to organize all of the different things that we could potentially take to sell to different particular traders. That's right. I think it's time the docks got a customs house. Warehouse? Some place to organize a whole lot of different things. And the docks seems like the perfect place to do it. So instead of marking out the build in packed dirt like I usually do, I'm gonna mark it out in the material we're going to be using to build it with. Grab our wedge chisel here. We've gotten a decent bit of limestone, and I think just to have a little bit brighter of a building. We're gonna make a lot of this out of ashlar blocks made out of limestone. Not the whole thing, of course, but a good amount of it. 4.5 stacks, that should be enough for now. At least for the outline, I sure hope it is. Let's get on over to the docks and hope that it's not frozen and snowed over enough that we can't see where the edge of the water is. It's also starting to get quite dark quite early. Got a little bit of light just because it's snowy out, so there's a little bit of that light diffusion in the sky, but 5:20 in the PM. This feels too much like real Canadian winter. Alright, so down there is where the water is. We got water. Very sheer cliff there. So, this is land. Now this building's not going to be small, it'll be decently sizable, so there's some of this land that we'll probably have to get cleared down a little bit. But this isn't just going to be one singular building. It's going to be a small compound. 3 buildings in total, 2 little squarish ones and a long one, creating a bit of a T intersection, so there'll be 3 entrances. One will be an entrance from the docks. To come up, you have to go into the compound to get anywhere else. Then one is going to go over that way, which it's dark, so you can't really see, but that leads over back to where the bridge is eventually going to be to go over to the mining area, as well as the roads that will then connect up to everything else. And over to my right here, or, well, camera right, my actual left arm, that will be an entrance off toward the rest of the market district that'll basically have a little bit of a fenced off kind of thing going on. Maybe. We'll see. We don't want people skirting around our customs building. You gotta pay the toll. The troll toll. Some such Billy Goat's gruff and all that nonsense. What am I talking about? You know what? Starting it right here. There's our first corner. Well, it's dark, so we're not gonna see a whole lot. So I'm just gonna start slapping down this outline, and hopefully the sun will be up by the time I've got it all done. This ain't no small building, big building. A big storage. Oh, rift activity's high. Okay. Also, there's a lot more hill I've got to dig out than what I had initially accounted for. Size and Scale and scope always kind of gets away from me a little. Bang, boom. We're just gonna sleep this high rift activity night away. Oh, I overslept a little. It's almost 10 a.m. At least it's sunny. Well, it's bright out. And it's calm. That's the important thing. Oh, the Bowtorn is still here. You get off my property. Okay, so what I've got so far, it's a little difficult to see because everything's once again covered in snow here. But we've got the outline of one of the buildings. So this one here is going to be one sort of storage building. And this one here, where, well, it's hard to see with the limestone. You could use this to make more walls. But it's obscuring our view right now of the corner. But this is going to be another building that's almost a mirror image of this one. Now, in the hilly terrain beyond it, that's where there's going to be a long building spanning pretty much the entire width of these two. Let's just double check. That's not going to go back and block any of the land, right? No, we still have this little lower bit that I feel like back here. It can't go much further than this, right? We should be fine. We should be good. We should be good. The door, the kind of entryway will be right there. From that block there'll be a 5-block gap, and that's where our kind of gatehouse door type thing is going to be. I think we're going to be okay. I think this will work. Also, just look at that. Is that the moon? I think so. Such a beautiful, majestic, yet silly world. Okay, so we've got a gap here of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then... oh, this is the corner for our long building that's a lot of terrain we're going to have to cut down. Oh boy. I think I'll start by wherever the walls are, I will carve a line through just so I can get the outline, and then I'll know the exact area I have to flatten things down and whatever surrounding terrain. If I knew how much lumpiness I'd have to unlump, I might have started this world a little smoother. But, you know, rugged, rough landscapes being domesticated to our means, that's the name of the game right here. Okay, so let's keep this going. Okay, and most of this is going to be dirt, which is pretty handy, because we still need a whole metric butt-ton of dirt for the castle. Gotta fill in that land. Gotta land in that fill. Build it on top of a landfill? That can't be safe. So I'm just gonna clear up a lot of this little mess here. You know, take this this old steel shovel and dig down some of this dirt. Get that terrain leveled off. Maybe fill in a divot or two. Depends on how much dirt I want to use up. So I'll see you in a moment. Once we've got everything all leveled off. Okay, apart from a few floating trees, that is pretty well the interior of the grounds of this compound. All at least dug down. Oh, we still need to raise up a few little bits of the ground there. But we're doing a good job here. This is actually going far quicker than I thought. Steel shovels are fantastic. How did I survive without them? So for some of these, I don't know if I'm actually going to fill them in fully, or if I'm just going to go with the same method I've done with the castle and kind of leave it hollow. It could be dangerous. It'll probably be dangerous. I probably should fill them. Maybe. We'll see how dangerous I want to live. But at the very least, as you can, well, kind of see on the map, it's a little difficult when it's all mostly covered in snow. You know, let's get those trees out of the way. Just make things a little easier to see on our map view. Doing it the less efficient way, just cutting the whole thing down, not trimming the leaves, because we've got, honestly, probably enough oak seeds, I think. Okay, so, on the map here, it's a slight bit clearer, kind of. We can see the vague outline of things, but we've got this rectangular building here, followed by two far more square buildings. So this, I believe, between this peak and this peak is going to be the entrance into our little harbor. So there will be docks going along here, and the pathway is going to come up into this entrance here, or into this entrance here. There'll probably be a way up on both, because here's where we're going to have a bridge eventually going down. There's a little peninsula that connects off toward where our quarry is. But for this, any trade coming in and out of the harbor is going to have to, if it wants to get into our market district here, it's going to have to come in through this T-junction. And for the purposes of a lot of these buildings, this long one is going to have just shelves. Rows and rows of shelves, probably decorative chests, just so we can make them look a little bit nicer, a little bit more varied, and look like they actually have shelves that everything is sitting on without wasting space. Make it nice and compact. And then this one here is going to be kind of general stock. Just things that we need in bulk, a lot of crates and things like that. This one here is probably going to be where we keep most of our trade goods for various merchants. And I hear a rift nearby, so I'm getting inside. So yeah, it's going to be a nice kind of mass storage as well as an organization spot for any of the trade goods that we're going to want for buying and selling from different traders. So weirdly, with wolf pups being one of the decently profitable commodities you can trade, we might end up having barrels full of puppies. They're freeze-dried. Huh. Guess if we never place them down in the world, then they'll never be fully alive and they'll never grow up. Are wolves like sea monkeys in this world? In some strange freeze-dried packet while they remain within our inventory? Very insightful, Shiver. Thank you. Alright, where are some of my extra torches here? I'm just gonna light a whole bunch of these extra torches here, because we're gonna be heading into the workshop in just a moment. Because clearly the days are too short and too dark and too dangerous for us to be working on the docks too consistently, or really outside in general. We got bears, we got drifters, we got snow, shivering, and shivers. We shiver, they shiver, we all shiver me timbers. So let's go to the workshop. It's high rift activity. What could go wrong? Oh, and also, take this extra torch holder. Oh boy. Put up our safety rails so we don't have any unwanted visitors. And so everything in our kiln is done firing. Let's see if they turned out exactly how I'm hoping they did. Come on, burnt and crispy. Why is it raw? Well, it would appear that I need to go grab some more wood. Apparently things in there need to cook a little more. Is that because wood just wasn't enough for how much volume we have in there, or what happened? Alright, round 2 of firing. I guess we're just gonna let that cook a little longer. Alright then. I was thinking they were gonna be done. I should have double checked. I was hoping we'd have our bricks there to be able to do the inside of the charcoal pit. I guess we're just gonna have to settle for other forms of interior decorating. By that I mean pretty much the rest of this room. Most of this room anyway. We're already partway through on the floor. So in the immortal words of Kurazar, let's get to it. Doesn't have the same ring when I say it. Oh well. And there we have it. We've got ourselves a little bit more decor done in here. Don't look at this wall, or that wall back there. They're still works in progress. But this wall is looking mighty fine. This one here, I do still need to work out the door here and probably decorate the fueling room down here quite a bit. But beyond that, we did finish the firing here, so we've got some shingles I can use to make a few new roof pieces, which might honestly be a lot easier to find than large amounts of slate, since it's only really that thin layer way off to the east that I've found so far. But blue clay is going to be in high demand, so I guess we'll see what wins out. We'll want a few different roof types anyway for varied buildings that we're going to have around, so having a few different colors of shingles that are now far easier and quicker to throw together will be very, very handy. And speaking of handy, having this permanent charcoal pit here with a fancy kiln door, and these really nice irregular clinker clay bricks, which I realize I'm going to have to add into this, just to keep it looking very cohesive when we're on the inside. It's almost disorienting how kind of warped and wavy these bricks are, but I really like it. It's a good kind of just shoddily built kind of look to it. Like we just had a bunch of leftover warped bricks and we thought, you know what? Close enough. Just mortared them all together. So beyond getting the texture onto this wall, which we can't really add them on normally for some reason, because when I try to add them in as another multi-material block, they just fall out. So I think we're going to have to rely on chisel tools once again, and I'm going to go grab a paintbrush. Did we make any regular paintbrushes that have not been turned into Jonas paintbrushes? Guess we're going to find out as we wander around in high rift activity. Oh, and it's December 8th already. The flax. I entirely forgot about the flax. Oh, flax? Oh, you're all dead, huh? Okay. Can I get my seeds back? Okay. Well, we can at the very least get our seeds and then let this replenish eventually. Let me just clear up my failed sadness and then we'll go grab ourselves that paintbrush. A lot of Jonas paintbrushes. Any regular? Right, we got our old tin bronze falx in there. Oh, good that's doing us. Alright, go smith ourselves a brush. Pantograph there. You know what, just to make it a little more worth it, let's just do a paintbrush and a pantograph. Anything else we need well, we need another chisel. Seal up that door before anything else crawls in here. I heard the clicking of a shiver. Don't want one of them running up on me when I'm not paying attention. Okay, so we're going to let all these heat up right here, and then we're going to smith ourselves an iron paintbrush, and another chisel and pantograph, and maybe a blackguard sword, because we're running low on all of those. And then hopefully with the paintbrush we can, shift right-click to add ourselves those clinker clay bricks right into that wall that won't accept them inside of our charcoal pit. Ooh, they're toasted. And it's a quenching time. So, with this guy here, shift right click will add the material. Got our rough clinker bricks in our first hotbar slot, so let's try a shift, a right click. And if we check that, we do have our rough clinker bricks right there. Beautiful. Okay, so let's just... Aha. Okay, and then we're just gonna, just for the facade, chisel away a single voxel layer of each of these of the granite. Then, with a single voxel, we're just gonna put in our clinker clay brick. Yeah. And I just have to kind of repeat this pattern for the entire wall, and we should be done in just a moment. Okay, I now understand why it doesn't let you add it. It's just kind of a repeating texture and I missed a spot. But yeah, it does stick out a little bit from the rest of this where it has this nice flowy pattern. I guess it can't calculate that when it's added into a multi-material chisel block. But that's okay, it's on the inside of our charcoal pit anyway. At a glance, I'm sure we won't notice unless we're really paying attention. And honestly, with how uneven all the rest of these bricks are, does it really matter at the end of the day? It's abstract art. I think we should start to at least carve out a little bit of the spot above it, just so we can, well, maybe use it sometime soon. So that's going to involve carving this, and at least we've got all the materials here so we can continue our brick pattern over. And while I'm thinking about that, we can actually add the sandstone into those little stair bits that we didn't earlier. That's only been a couple episodes. Let's do that. Let's make these stairs proper. There we go. Safety marks. And while we're at it, we're gonna put our safety stairs here, which means I think these coke ovens are gonna have to get pushed back a little bit. At least they're rebuildable. Wonderful. Wonderful. Now these stairs are good for a little step up and down, but I think I'm going to want something a bit more robust for the back wall here. Since it is still going to be built into, well, basically the wall itself, I think we build it as sort of masonry stairs, almost steps built out of the bricks themselves. I think that might work out pretty nicely. Let's see, this is more of a corner. Corner. You're a corner? Whoops. Now you too can be a corner. Makes this a little easier to work with down here. Okay. So, let's start by making it a little bit more stair-shaped. I think that'll do. And these guys here, we're going to want these to be flat on the top, but the color, it's subtle. Oh boy, is it ever subtle, but it's going to make all the difference in the world to me. So, okay. Okay. That could work. That could definitely work. Those are certainly brick stairs, alright. Yeah, I'm okay with that. And now we just have to stairify this one as well. It'd be really nice if we could just copy shape from that to this one. However, the shape includes which color it is. So it'd end up turning all of it into materials 1 and 2. Or I guess 0 and 1 if you go by the code of it all. That would get rid of our beautiful sandstone stripes. And we can't have that. So bespoke it is. There we go. It's much quicker the second time when you know what you're doing. The initial designing stage, that's always the time taker. And we've got ourselves a nice little staircase here, and we'll brickify the back wall as well. Let's get ourselves a bit of an alcove dug out just so we can see where the hole is in the top of our charcoal. Right. That's our floor. So we gotta go one more. Our hole. Beautiful. The second floor is at least getting started to an extent. The first step is always the hardest. So now that we've broken ground on the second floor, that's not going to take too long to get that all sorted out. We just have to figure out a roof material. I don't think these smaller rooms are going to have the same decorative arched and domed ceilings like in the grand hall. These are probably going to be flatter. Well, do they have to be? We could be decorative. You know what? I might just be decorative. Who knows? Only time will tell, and hopefully not too much time, because I really want to get to decorating a whole lot of this place and get it all feeling like it's closer to being done and ready to go. Because most of it will be fairly repeating patterns, so it shouldn't be too bad. Speaking of repeating patterns, I'm now noticing, where do I rock underneath the bricks here? Because I forgot. Can't have that single voxel of green showing underneath our perfect floor. Oh, right, I accidentally chiseled one of those blocks. Okay, I was like, how did I relieve one? So much loose rock. So little cares. So as I stand amongst my stairs here, and our now mostly completed charcoal furnace here, except for the iron trapdoor that still has to go on the top, I think this is as good a place as any to call the episode. So, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And a special shout out to all of our channel members. You're all the greatest. Thank you so much for all your support. You're wonderful. You're all wonderful. Everyone's wonderful. So I think next episode, I'll finish up this room in its entirety, dig out the second floor, maybe get to work on some mechanical bits. We give that Helvhammer some little Helvy Hammery friends. And since it's getting cold outside, we're mid-December, late December at this point now, we'll try and stick to some indoor activities for the next couple episodes, just so we stay warm. Try and get a bit of work done on the castle here and there, but there's only so far you can go before the frost fills your vision. And we've recently hit a milestone with the channel. We just hit 20,000 subscribers, and I didn't have anything prepped in time for a 20,000 subscriber special because I did not expect it to come nearly as quickly as it did. Seriously. But I do have a couple special ideas in the works, and in due time, we might just have ourselves something fancy. It might not necessarily be considered a 20,000 subscriber special because it'll be a little late, but it will indeed be special. So once again, thank you, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day or evening, maybe even sweet dreams if you're watching this right before bed. So I'll see you in the next one. Bye! Remember when you were younger and you'd run up the stairs on all fours to get out of the basement so the monster wouldn't get you? You think that's what the Shiver's doing? Do you think they're scared? I think they're scared. They should be.